today I am going to talk about how to invest from, let's say, Mexico or somewhere in Latin America, but I'm going to use Mexico into the United States for real estate. Okay, I am not a attorney or I am not a CPA, so this is for entertainment purposes only. Go check with your legal counsel and your legal team and your tax team to make sure that you can do it this way. But this is what I've heard that you can do, okay? So there's 4 steps on how to move money from Mexico to the U.S. and then be able to invest here in, let's just say, real estate, right? That's what we do. Or even business, whatever you want. Okay. Number 1, you have to open an LLC. Where do you open an LLC? People open it in Delaware. Somebody could open it in Wyoming. You can actually open the LLC on a website. You can actually go on a website and you can open up the LLC yourself, or you can pay a company to open up the LLC for you. What is that going to cost? What is the whole process going to cost? It's going to cost you, let's say, cost you $500. If you have somebody do it for you, be about $500. It's not bad. If you do the whole process yourself, you might spend, I don't know, maybe $200, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, but then you have to do all the legal work on your own, and I would not recommend that. I just rather you have paid somebody who's done it before and can do it for you properly. $500 is not a lot of money. So step 1 again, have somebody or yourself open an LLC in Delaware, Wyoming. While those states, they're kind of easier states for, for opening LLCs, just better for taxes and things like that, for asset protection as well. Number 2, what do you do after you open your LLC? So number 2, you have to get an EIN or a FIN, which is an employer identification number or a federal identification number. So who gets that number, right? It's going to be your LLC. Let's say you name your LLC, $1 billion boardroom LLC, right? Now that LLC needs to have a social security number or some kind of number that attaches it to the IRS and the way you file paperwork all over the country and in your state for taxes and applications, bank applications. You need an EIN or FIN. Okay. So your LLC, $1 billion boardroom LLC, needs to apply for an EIN, and you can do that right on the government IRS website. Type in EIN, IRS, and you'll see. Make sure it's the actual IRS or .gov domain, because there'll be a lot of other companies out there. They'll charge you. It's actually free. It's actually free to get the EIN number. You do it right online. It takes 5 minutes. I don't know. I have like 30, 40, 50 LLCs. I don't even know. Okay. Now, step number 3, you need to open a bank account. Okay. You got to open a bank account. It's not hard. Even if you're not a U.S. citizen and you don't live in the U.S., you can open a bank account. There is certain banks out there that will allow you to open a bank account with your business account. Okay. You have a business account, an EIN, right? You'll probably have to provide some kind of international passport. Okay. Valid. And they can open your account online. Now, let's go back to step number 1, right? It's going to ask you for an address. It's going to ask you the place of business. That's why I recommend you hire a company that'll do it for you, because they'll become your registered agent. They're the ones that are going to receive the mail. They're going to use their information, their address, and everything, so you don't have to have an address in the United States. Same thing with your bank. You will use all that information you set up on step number 1. And for step number 2, for your EIN, you use all those addresses that you put in step 1. That's why I'm telling you, it's better to pay somebody the extra money, because you already have addresses and names and phone numbers of the registered agent, of the person who represents you. It's a company, and you can just go off of them, and it'll help you make it a lot easier. You don't have to have a location in the U.S., all right? Number 4 is you got to fund your account. So you basically wire money to the account once it gets here, right? And then from here, you go ahead and invest that money into whatever you want. You go buy a business, go invest in real estate, and that LLC that you opened up, that'll be a taxable entity. That means he's going to get taxed in the state and federal level. So all the money it earns, it'll get taxed. Now, I don't know the rules in your country. This is a very simple way on how to do it. But say you make $1 million this year, you're going to get taxed in the U.S. If you send it back to your home country, right, you got to figure out how you're going to pay taxes in your home country. You made $1 million here. You pay $30,000, 30% in taxes, which is $300K. You wire back $700K, and then your government, wherever you're at, is going to take their chunk of the change. So you need to structure this properly so you don't get taxed to death, right? If you leave the money here in the United States, that is awesome because it only gets taxed at the U.S. level, right? And if you're investing in real estate, there's really creative ways that even if you make $1 million, you'll pay 0 in taxes. Now, there's all this offshore accounts, Cayman Islands, all these other places you can move the money from and move all that. Like, I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about a really simple way, okay, on how to open up a business, an LLC, how to invest in the U.S., how you get your money back to your home country. You can get super creative, not to evade taxes, but to pay the least amount of taxes possible. All right. So those are my 4 tips for you to be able to bring money from Mexico or other parts of the country. Fairly easy. But again, it's for entertainment purposes only. Go contact your legal professionals and your CPAs, accountants. Make sure that everything gets done to the point. Like cross every T, dot every I, and is done the right way and the legal way. Go check out my other videos that you'll see about how to not pay taxes with your LLC that you open up, more step-by-step detail on what kind of structure why an LLC, or what you should invest in when you're here. You have your money here in the U.S. Can you fix and flip a property while you're in Mexico? Yeah, you can fix and flip a property. Can you invest in a commercial property? Yeah, you can do that as well. Can you invest in whatever the heck you want? Sure, you can do all that from another country. Yes, you can. If you have a visa to come to the U.S., even better, because you come look at your projects. If you don't have a visa, well, start working to get yourself a visa to get here and look at your projects. But you can pretty much do everything virtually if you have the right team. So go check out the other videos and subscribe and check me out on my social media channels. If you have questions on how to exactly do this, reach out to me, put a comment here. We'll send you an email. We can set up a time to have a conversation, and I can tell you exactly the right steps to be able to set up your entity in the United States, the right steps for you to invest if you want to invest passively or actively in the United States. And if you have some tax questions, I'm not really a tax professional, but I could point you in the right direction. I want you to have a pleasant and profitable investment experience in the U.S. So reach out to me if you have any questions or any doubts.